Hi everyone, welcome to your Palms YouTube channel. This image shows the main major and minor lines of the palm. The lifeline, headline and heart line can be seen on the majority of hands. Your palm would not show every line depicted on the image. This image shows the palmistry mounts. Fingerprints and Palmar patterns signs. In this video, the main signs related to fingerprints and Palmar patterns are presented and discussed. The fingerprints and the Palmar patterns are considered skin-rich patterns. The skin-rich patterns are present since birth, and do not change during a person's life. This is in contrast to the lines, which could change, as a result of the person's thinking process and life choices. A magnifying glass could be required to view the fingerprints and Palmar patterns. The fingerprint patterns are presented in general terms. The combination of fingerprints, and their respective locations on the fingers, need to be considered for detailed analysis. Normally, at least one of the Palmar patterns would appear on a palm. Sign number 1. Simple arch fingerprint. The presence of a simple arch fingerprint indicates that the person is old-fashioned, simple, practical, trustworthy and reliable. The simple arch also reveals that the person is hard-working, always able to finish what was started. Sign number 2. Tinted arch fingerprint. The presence of a tinted arch fingerprint indicates that the person is idealistic, enthusiastic and creative. The tinted arch also reveals that the person is stubborn. Sign number 3. Ulnar loop fingerprint. When the loop slants toward the thumb, it is referred to as an ulnar loop. The presence of an ulnar loop fingerprint indicates that the person is a team player and adaptable. The ulnar loop also reveals that the person possesses an open mind. Sign number 4. Radial loop fingerprint. When the loop slants away from the thumb, it is referred to as a radial loop. The presence of a radial loop fingerprint indicates that the person is an individualist, who could only be a team player when personal needs would be fulfilled. The radial loop also reveals that the person is stubborn, it is my way or the highway. Sign number 5. Composite loop fingerprint. The composite loop, also referred to as a double loop, is composed of two opposing loops. The presence of a composite loop fingerprint indicates that the person is intelligent, but very confused. The composite loop also reveals that the person is broad-minded and versatile, but always having great difficulties deciding on any issue. Even after a decision is made, the person would tend to change and reverse courses. Such a person would tend to have many interests, without being able to focus on any particular subject. A person, having a composite loop, would lack self-confidence, due to the constant self-doubt, and inner conflicts. Sign number 6. Whorl fingerprint. The whorl fingerprint pattern could appear as concentric or spiral. The whorl fingerprint pattern is the sign of an individualist, who is unique and original. The whorl fingerprint also reveals that the person is stubborn, and does not favor teamwork, unless being the team leader. A person, having a whorl loop, would be self-centered, and would like to organize and execute plans, without the help from anyone else. Sign number 7. Raja loop. The Raja loop is located between the Jupiter and Saturn fingers. It is a rare sign. The person, having this sign, would be charismatic, a born leader, who would motivate and inspire others. The presence of the Raja loop would denote a powerful leader. The person, having the Raja loop, could have noble ancestry, such as being a descendant from a royal family. Sign number 8. Vocation loop. The vocation loop is located between the Saturn and Apollo fingers. The person, having this sign, would be very serious, trustworthy, introspective, hardworking, and full of common sense. The presence of the vocation loop would denote financial success in the chosen field of work, since the person would be very dedicated to work. Sign number 9. Humor loop. The humor loop is located between the Apollo and Mercury fingers. The person, having this sign, would possess a sense of humor, and would tend to take life less seriously than others. Sign number 10. Vanity loop. The vanity loop is located inside Mount Apollo, or could encompass the whole Mount of Apollo. The person, having this sign, would possess a strong sense of pride, and would be very self-confident. Such a person would be very concerned about the self-image, and would be very sensitive to criticism. Sign number 11. Memory loop. The memory loop can start from the middle of the palm, near or below the headline, then runs across the palm or downward, to terminate in Mount Upper Mars or on the upper edge of Mount Luna. The person, having this sign, would possess a very good memory, with the ability to photographically remember, accurately, distant past events. Sign number 12, Nature Loop. The nature loop starts from the outer edge of the palm, and terminates in Mount Luna. The person, having this sign, likes to be close to nature. The presence of the nature loop reveals that the person would possess special abilities to communicate with animals. Such a person would be expected to succeed as a veterinarian. Sign number 13, Courage Loop. The courage loop is located inside Mount Lower Mars, below the lifeline. The person, having this sign, would be courageous, and full of stamina. Sign number 14, Humanitarian Loop. The humanitarian loop starts from the wrist, rising up toward the center of the palm. The person, having this sign, would be full of kindness, and would be a humanitarian. Sign number 15, Double Loop on Mount Luna. The double loop is composed of two opposing loops. The person, having this sign, would be indecisive, uncertain, confused, self-doubtful and struggles with an inner conflict. Such a person would pursue many interests, but would not be able to succeed at any, due to an inability to focus on one particular subject. The presence of the double loop on Mount Luna would be a negative sign, in case the headline terminates in Mount Luna. This is due to the fact that the person's mind would be strongly influenced by conflicting imaginative thoughts. Sign number 16, Whorl Pattern on Mount Luna. The whorl is one of the skin ridge patterns, that could be imprinted on fingers, or on the palm. The whorl pattern always denotes individuality, originality, uniqueness and creativity. The presence of a whorl pattern on Mount Luna is considered a rare sign, that indicates a very strong imagination, and an active subconscious mind. The person, having this sign, would be very intuitive, psychic, and could possess the ability to predict the future. In the event the palm contains negative signs, the presence of a whorl on Mount Luna, would reveal mental illness, due to excessive imagination and the very strong influence of the subconscious mind. In this case, the person would have difficulty differentiating between what is real and what is being imagined. Sign number 17, Whorl Pattern on Mount Venus. The presence of a whorl pattern on Mount Venus intensifies the qualities associated with Mount Venus. The qualities associated with Mount Venus include, among others, love, compassion, generosity, optimism, passion, and love of pleasures. The person, having this sign, would be very passionate, a pleasure seeker, and very enthusiastic about life. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to this channel to be notified promptly of new posts. Your opinion matters. Please feel free to add your comments. Goodbye for now.